他就是这个设计车子的这个Chris Bangle， 他是一个 car designer。他原来他比我小6岁，前任的 BMW 多前任呢，他在几个月以前才刚刚从 BMW 离开，他去做什么？他做了一个自己的这个设计公司。那他说，伟大的车子或者是好的车子都是艺术品。那这个概念就是说，车子本来是一个产品，可是为什么它会让用艺术品这个角度来看它？事实上，它就是希望透过艺术的拉升，艺术的一些元素的提升，去让产品本身不只是一个产品，而是有它的差异化。这个差异化是用它的策略是用艺术来达成。我们来看看他怎么做这个事情。他原来是想要去做一个牧师，后来去学设计以后，就非常着迷在做设计。那因为他是在加州的这个 Design Center， 那个加州 Design Center 训练很多做汽车设计的人，所以他也是从那里设计出，对，从那里教出来的，学习出来的。前任的第一个这个美国人被 BMW 请去做设计的主持人。那原来 BMW 的这个设计的主持人都是德国人嘛，所以他是第一个。那他现在的公司叫做 Chris Bangle Associate。我们来先看看他怎么说。他说这个好车是一个艺术。我们来看看。
What I want to talk about is, as background, is the idea that cars are art. This is actually quite meaningful to me because car designers tend to be a little bit low on the totem pole. We don't do coffee table books with just one lamp inside of it. And cars are thought so much as a product that it's a little bit difficult to get into the aesthetic side under the same sort of terminology that one would discuss art. And so cars as art brings it into an emotional plane, if you accept that you have to deal with on the same level you would with art with a capital A. Now, at this point, you're going to see a picture of Michelangelo. Okay? This is completely different than automobiles. Automobiles are self-moving things, right? Elevators are automobiles.
他在这里谈到的就是说，大部分的人都把汽车看成是一种商品，但是他在设计汽车的时候，他希望把它看成是一个艺术品。为什么他要这样做？因为艺术品，如果你从那里看的时候，你就想象的不只是一个自动车automobile， 不只是一个自动车。他说电梯也可以算是一种自动车嘛，就是自动会跑的，你只要按个钮，它就自动跑上跑下。所以他觉得汽车应该超过这个，所以他的开场白是用这样子来这个思考。
And they're not very emotional. They solve a purpose. And certainly automobiles have been around for 100 years and have made our lives functionally a lot better in many ways. They've also been a real pain in the ass because automobiles are really the thing we have to solve. We have to solve their pollution, we have to solve their congestion. But that's not what interests me in this speech. What interests me in this speech is cars. Automobiles may be what you use, but cars are what we are.
他在这一段里面，我一直停下来的原因是要让大家真正的去思考，有时间空档去思考。他说 ，automobile 就是汽车是你的工具，可是 cars 在中文都是叫做汽车了啊，但是 cars， 如果你是用 cars 这个角度去看它，它就是我们啊，那你必须要开始去了解这是什么意思，不只是把它当成是一个反正听不太懂。你必须去思考为什么他说 automobile 就是自动车，就是你的工具。创造现在世界问题的是自动车，不是 cars。那 cars 是我们，他说 car 这个汽车就是我们。 我们会选用什么汽车，除了是工具以外，其实我们想要表达我们。所以在这里面呢，有一个事实上是连在一起，可是情感上它是被切割的两个东西。我刚刚在问你使用电脑的时候，其实也有这样的一个想法。就像我很喜欢用苹果电脑，苹果电脑里面我可不可以转过去变成有 Windows 呢？有。我用不用呢？我从来不用。为什么？因为我觉得那不是我，所以它虽然有，我也没用。那所以这个就是他在讲所以不然的话，电脑只不过是个工具吧。那但是这个工具，如果你把它提升到你跟它的连结，变成说这个工具就是我的时候，它就开始不同。那如果你在做设计的时候，不管你设计的是景观，还是你设计的是一个房子，还是你设计的是一个工业设计的椅子，甚至杯子，甚至是一支笔，如果你可以让使用的人觉得那就是我，那个他就开始产生很强烈的感情连结。这种感情的连结，就是他今天想要跟我们讲的，汽车就是我们 automobile 是 tool 是工具，可是 car is us 就是汽车就是我们。这个东西，就算你现在想不太通也没有关系，你稍微深入的思考一下。
In many ways. And as long as we can solve the problems of automobiles, and I believe we can with fuel cells or hydrogen like BMW is really hip on, and lots of other things, then I think we can look past that and try and understand why it is this hook is in many of us, of this cariness, and what that means, what we can learn from it. And that's what I want to get to. Cars are not a suit of clothes. Cars are an avatar. Cars are an expansion of yourself. They take your thoughts, your ideas, your emotions, and they multiply it, your anger, whatever. It's an avatar. It's a super Waldo that you happen to be inside of. And if you feel sexy, the car is sexy. And if you're full of road rage, you got a Chevy like a rock, right?
他刚刚的这一段，慢慢的去让我们更思考清楚，如何能够把这个我们自己在做设计的时候，如何把使用的人的情感跟这个产品连结啊？那他认为我们有没有办法让自己觉得非常这个性感的人，当他在开一部车的时候，那个车子也会自动变成一种性感的车子。那种车子，它也容易被想要感觉自己很性感的人去选择来变成代表他自己。我想那个就是做设计的一个说不清楚，但是一个非常重要的关键。我们必须要去懂这个东西，但是很不容易说清楚。你仔细再听一下。
Cars are a sculpture. Now, did you know this? That every car you see out there is sculpted by hand? Many people think, well, it's computers and it's done by machines and stuff like that. Well, they reproduce it, but the originals are all done by hand. It's done by men and women who believe a lot in their craft, and they put that same kind of tension into the sculpting of a car that you do in a great sculpture that you would go and look at in a museum. That tension between the need to express, the need to discover, the need to put something new into it, and at the same time, you have bounds of craftsmanship. Rules that say, this is how you handle surfaces. This is what control is all about. This is how you show you're a master of your craft. And that tension, that discovery, that push for something new, and at the same time, that sense of obligation to the regards of craftsmanship, that's as strong in cars as it is in anything. We work in clay, which hasn't changed much since Michelangelo started screwing around with it. And there's a very interesting analogy to that too, real quickly. Michelangelo once said he's there to discover the figure within, okay?
刚刚的这一句话，我曾经在课堂里说过几次，我再重复一次跟大家分享。我在像各位这样年纪的时候，在大学念书的时候，有一位我忘了，就是什么人给我一本书，我去看，里头有米开朗基罗的一句话，就是米开朗基罗在这个刻的大卫像。刻得非常好，我为了这个，我有一次还跑到这个意大利的这个翡冷翠，佛罗伦斯的意思啊，到翡冷翠去看这个大卫像。那大卫像你近看的时候，或者是你看网络上照片的时候，你几乎都可以看到它的血管，而且那个血管虽然是石头刻的，你都觉得那个血管是软的， 好像血可以在里面流动的那样子软的，所以它的肌肉呢也感觉是肌肉而不是石头。所以很多人看到米开朗基罗刻这个大卫刻得很好，就问米开朗基罗说：“你怎么刻它？你怎么把这个大卫刻一块石头刻得像个活的一样？”我在各位这样年纪的时候，我看到书上写米开朗基罗的回答，其实就是他刚刚讲的那句话。他说：“我没有刻他，大卫本来就在里面，我只不过是帮他走出来而已啊。大卫本来就在里面，我帮他走出来。”这句话我在各位的年纪的时候听，我那时候的直接的感受是说：哦，米开朗基罗这个人还真会吹牛，这刻得好就刻得好，还要吹牛一下。我们那个时候不讲吹牛，我们那时候讲说哇很会盖，为什么一定要说这个他没有刻呢？慢慢的随着年纪增长，我可以体会米开朗基罗说他没有刻他是什么意思。他尝试着去了解石头里面的那个力量，所以他说 tension inside， 那个力量想从里面出来的那个力量，他要去想办法帮他出来。石头本身有一个质感，那个质感他想要表达的是一个 David， 一个大卫，可是石头有石头讲话的方法，所以他要去尝试了解那个石头想要讲什么话，再让他跟他自己的 David 去结合，那个他才有本事刻出来那个很好的东西。所以并不是讲米开朗基罗的雕刻技术很好，他只要雕刻技术好，他就可以雕成大卫那个样子。我相信有很多人的雕刻技术很好，可是不是每一个人刻得出来大卫。原因就是因为他不爱那个石头，他也不 care 那个石头想讲什么话。石头想讲的话，对他来讲，石头是石头，跟我什么关系？那个就错了。所以你在做建筑的时候，如果你没有办法感受水泥，你就没有办法盖出来像安藤忠雄那样子的水泥的清水。那个是一个非常爱水泥，而且爱到发疯，爱到脑袋有点问题，他才会想办法把水泥做成那个样子，不然他没有办法，他绝对没有办法。那所以你必须要去爱那个材料，同时如果你要让你自己更变成一个品牌，你同时要去爱那个将要使用这个产品、服务、系统等等的人，所以这个中间有很多的拉锯。所以在他刚刚用的一个字叫做这个 inner tension， 那个 inner tension 是一个很重要的一个概念。
Here we go. There we go. The automobile. That was 100 years right there. Did you catch that? Between that one there and that one there. Changed a lot, didn't they? Okay. It's not marketing. It's a very interesting car concept here, but the marketing part is not what I want to talk about here. I want to talk about this. Why it means you have to wash a car. What is it? That sensuality you have to touch about it. Okay? That's the sculpture that goes into it, the sensuality. And it's done by men and women working just like this.
他刚刚讲说，为什么要去洗车？很多人洗车可能把它弄到机器里面去，哗啦哗啦哗啦洗一洗，觉得这样很方便就出来。可是爱车的人他是会去洗车，就像是如果你非常关心你的机器的时候，你一定不会把它随便丢在一个包里面，就这样走来走去。那你一定会想个办法让你的 care 让他感受到。那么比如说我举个例子，我放我的电脑的方式是这样，那而且我的包包很少同意人家帮我拿包包，并不是我太客气，而是我老是觉得他们会敲到我的电脑。你看它的下面是这样。所以你把电脑丢进去的时候，它永远不会敲到外面，因为它的里头是这样，所以它掉进去的时候，它就是被这两个袋子把它束起来，所以永远这个电脑只要在这个包包里面，它都不会撞到外面。那这个就像洗车一样，洗车跟看雕塑跟保护你的工具 等等，其实就是欣赏一个艺术品。那你在欣赏一个艺术品，如果你连欣赏艺术品都不会，那更不会去做一个好的设计。所以，那更不会懂得怎么样去做爱这个东西。那你不懂得怎么爱这个东西，等一下你看下去就知道，你就更不懂得做一个很不一样的东西出来。所以他这个是在汽车，看到汽车厂里面，大家洗车是用手洗，做车是用手去刮那个泥土，并不是用电脑在那边画半天，他是用手去把它画出来啊。那像我在设计沙发的时候，我最喜欢跟做沙发的师傅拿着笔，在他做出来的模子前面，我们用笔在那边修，那个东西在电脑里面画是绝对画不出来，我保证你画不出来。你没有拿的一个，我们上个星期是不是有谈到要用一个那个 prototype 去做？你如果没有一个 prototype， 你只是老是用脑筋想，然后就是画一画 3D， 再怎么 3D， 你的眼睛都没有办法感受你用直接这么近的看一个真的东西，然后你可以蹲下去，你可以站起来，你可以摸得到，你可以坐上去，你可以这个用身体跟它互动，那感觉是完全差很多的。所以为什么汽车到现在这么进步的时候，飞机已经不是这样设计了。飞机绝对不需要一个模子，飞机就直接在 computer 上面设计。为什么？因为很少有人买飞机回去把玩，没有。所以汽车到现在还是用这个东西慢慢去刮，因为这里面还有那个成分，那个成分就是他一直在说的米开朗基罗用手去刻大卫像的那个成分。
Making cars. Nice little quote about sculpture from Henry Moore. I believe that pressure within that Moore is talking about, at least when it comes to cars, comes right back to this idea of the meme. It's that will to live, that need to survive, to express itself that comes in a car and takes over people like me. And we.
那亨利·摩尔他说了一句话，他是说，雕塑应该永远是 give the impression， 给一个印象 ，where carved or model， 不管你是用刻的，还是你用去铸造出来的，就是你用泥巴去捏出来的，还是你用石头去刻出来的 ，of having grown originally， 就是从这个非常原创的状态中间长出来 ，created by pressure from within， 这句话最重要。就是有一个，就是米开朗基罗一模一样的话，就是说这个是被创造出来，怎么被创造出来呢？是被一个 pressure from within， 就是一种力量从里面要推出来的感觉，那个才是，就是你要去感觉到说，他这块石头想怎么表现，这个房间想怎么呈现，不是我想怎么呈现这个房间，而是这个房间想怎么呈现。这个庭园想怎么呈现，这个杯子想怎么呈现，忘记掉我想呈现这个如何呈现这个杯子，我想如何呈现这个庭园，反过来想说这个庭园想怎么呈现。如果你开始练习这样想，你就开始比较接近这种大师的想法。大师的想法从米开朗基罗这么久以前文艺复兴时代的人，到亨利·摩尔1950年代60年代的人，他说得非常清楚 ，created by pressure from within， 这个是重要的。
Me, and we tell other people, do this, do this, do this, until this thing comes alive. We are completely infected, and beauty can be the result of this infectiousness. It's quite wonderful. This sculpture is, of course, at the heart of all of it, and it really what puts the craftsmanship into our cars. And it's not a whole lot different, really, when they're working like this than when somebody works like this. Okay? It's that same kind of commitment, that same kind of beauty. Now I get to the point. I want to talk about cars as art. Art, in the Platonic sense, is truth, it's beauty, and love. Now, this is really where designers in car business diverge from the engineers.
他等一下要开始讲一个工程师跟设计师之间的差别，不是说工程师有什么不对，而是工程师检讨的事情都是叫做实际的事情，设计师要检讨的事情就是说，实际对他来讲是一个限制，他必须要在这个限制里面去突破一个东西，叫做不实际的事情。那这个不实际的事情不是不重要的事情，不是不应该想的事情，而是用工程的实际面来限制以后， 所去突破出来的不实际的事情。那些不实际的事情是工程面解决了以后，它还要再串另外一个面，那个面呢，事实上是一个非常重要的感情面的东西。
We don't really have a problem talking about love. We don't have a problem talking about truth or beauty in that sense. That's what we're searching for. When we're working our craft, we are really trying to find that truth out there. We're not trying to find vanity and beauty. We're trying to find the beauty in the truth. However, engineers tend to look at things a little bit more Newtonian instead of this quantum approach. We're dealing with irrationalisms and we're dealing with paradoxes that we admit exist. And the engineers tend to look at things a little bit more like 2 and 2 is 4, and if he gets 4.0, it's better, and 4.000 is even better. And that sometimes leads to a bit of a divergence in why we're doing what we're doing. We've pretty much accepted the fact, though, that we are the women in the organization of BMW. BMW is a very manly type business. Men, it's engineers, right? And we're kind of the female side to that. So, okay, that's cool. You go off and be manly. We're going to be a little bit more female. Because what we're interested in is finding form that's more than just a function.
这句话很要紧。他说，他们在设计的时候是 finding form is more important than function， 就是在形体上面超越了只表达功能的形体，所以在现代建筑1920年代早期的时候，在谈 form 跟 function 哪一个重要，是 form 是 follow function 还是 function 是 follow form？ 我想在心理学以及行为科学已经越来越重要，再加上科技已经让功能越来越容易达成的时候，我想形体变成是一种重要的语言。形体不是为了形体，形体是为了叫做语言。所以当它呈现一种形体出来以后，它所诉说的语言，它影响了这个人的行为，那个就是设计的一个最重要的这个工作。我再强调一次，设计的工作就是你在解决了功能的问题以后，你在功能之上还有一个事情叫做形体。这个形体不是要去设计一个怪样子或者是特别的样子，都不是，而就要去设计，透过这种形体去设计一种语言。这种语言表达了以后，让使用的人呢开始受到它的影响。那个就是形体的最重要的概念。
We're interested in finding beauty that's more than just an aesthetic. It's really a truth. And I think this idea of soul as being the heart of great cars is very applicable. You all know it. You know a car when you've seen it with soul. You know how strong this is. Well, this experience of love and the experience of design, to me, are interchangeable. And now I'm coming to my story. I discovered something about love and design through a project called Deep Blue. And first of all, you have to go with me for a second and say, you know, you could take the word love out of a lot of things in our society, put the word design in, and it still works.
在这里面用了几首这个流行的歌曲，然后把这个里头的 love 这个字换成设计，说，比如说这里的就是说，love is a many splendid thing， 一首老歌。那么这首老歌他把它改成 design is a many splendid thing， 他觉得这个改过去好像都很对。所以他就试着把 love 跟 design 互换，让我们去试着去理解，是说爱跟设计之间有一种共通的性格。那这种共通的性格是我们可以尝试的去体会。
Like this quote here, you know, kind of works, you know. You can understand that. It works in truisms. All's fair in design and war, right? Certainly we live in a competitive society. I think this one here, this is a pop song that really describes Philip Stark for me. You know, this is like puppy love, you know? This is cool, right? Wow, you know, toothbrush, cool, right? It really only gets serious when you look at something like this, okay? This is one substitution that I believe all of us in design management are guilty of. And this idea that there is more to love, more to design, when it gets down to your neighbor, your other. It can be physical like this, and maybe in the future it will be. But right now, it's in dealing with our own people, our own teams who are doing the creating. So, to my story. The idea of people work is what we work with here. And I have to make a bond with my designers when we're creating BMWs. We have to have a shared intimacy, a shared vision. That means we have to work as one family. We have to understand ourselves that way. There's good times, there's interesting times, and there's some stress times too. You want to do cars, you got to go outside. You got to do cars in the rain, you got to do cars in the snow. That's, by the way, is a presentation we made to our board of directors. We haul their butts out in the snow too. Right? You want to know cars outside? Well, you got to stand outside to do this. And because these are artists, they have very artistic temperaments. All right? Now, one thing about art is discovery, and art is discovering yourself through your art. All right? And one thing about cars is we're all a little bit like Pygmalion. We are completely in love with our own creations. This is one of my favorite paintings. It really describes our relationship with cars. This is sick beyond belief. But because of this, the intimacy with which we work together as a team takes on a new dimension, a new meaning. We have a shared center. We have a shared focus. That car stays at the middle of all our relationships. And now it's my job in the competitive process to narrow this down.
这里面谈到，在设计汽车的时候，汽车的设计变成是他们大家共同的目标跟语言。可是，设计汽车因为是一个，并不像你为你自己设计一个泥塑的杯子，那么做一个就算，所以它需要变成是一个很大的投资。那是很大的投资的时候，大家都会开始变成，一方面是很小心，一方面希望可以影响更多人。所以呢，他们在做汽车设计的时候，基本上是从非常非常多部汽车的设计中间开始慢慢挑，慢慢挑，慢慢挑。所以在这个挑的过程，等一下请各位仔细看这一段。这一段是要跟大家说，当大家都是一个那么亲密的团队，当大家都那么爱自己的作品的时候，当一开始的时候设计出10部车来，决定要开始从10部变9部，9部变8部，8部变7部，到最后只能剩下1部的时候，那个是一个非常艰辛的过程。那你听听他怎么说。
Heard today about Joseph's death genes that have to go in and kill cell reproduction.
Death gene 意思是说，我们的细胞里面有一种死亡基因，意思就是说，我们细胞活到某个程度以后，它就不让它再分裂了。那这个死亡基因就会开始启动，那就把那个细胞杀死。因为如果你细胞不杀死的时候，你的细胞就越来越老了嘛，所以它就要把它杀死。那这个杀死的动作，就是刚刚就讲说 death gene， 它的功能是阻断细胞再生。阻断细胞再生的意思是什么？意思就是说，我们身体里面的细胞不断的分裂到一些已经分裂了很多次，所以我们的基因里面本来就写好一个密码，这个程式码是说，基因分裂几次以后呢，就让它死掉。所以那个就是死亡基因开始动作，让你不再分裂。那所以只有年轻的会一直分裂，老的它就不会分裂。那我讲的不是老人，而是同一个人里面的分裂的比较多次的细胞。那同样的，在设计的 team 里面，他这位刚刚的这位Bangle， 他说他就是这种阻断细胞，意思是说他必须要把一些设计让它发展到一半的时候就死掉，因为他要最后剩下是某一部最有这个感觉的车子，那个过程。
You know, that's what I have to do sometimes. We start out with 10 cars, we narrow it down to 5 cars, down to 3 cars, down to 2 cars, down to 1 car, and I'm in the middle of that killing, basically, someone's love, someone's baby. This is very difficult, and you have to have a bond with your team that permits you to do this, because their life is wrapped up in that too. They've got that gene infected in them as well, and they want that to live more than anything else. Well, this Project Deep Blue put me in contact with my team in a way that I never expected, and I want to pass it on to you because I want you to reflect on this perhaps in your own relationships. We wanted to do a car which was a complete leap of faith for BMW. We wanted to do a team which was so removed from the way we'd done it that I only had a phone number that connected me to them. And so what we did was instead of having a staff of artists that are just your wrist, we decided to free up a team of creative designers and engineers to find out what's the successor to the SUV phenomenon in America. This is 1996 we did this project. And so we sent them off with this team name, Deep Blue. Now, many people know Deep Blue from IBM. We actually stole it from them because we figured if anybody read our faxes, they'd think we're talking about computers. Turned out it was quite clever because Deep Blue in a company like BMW has a hook. Deep Blue, wow, cool name. So people get wrapped up in it. And we took a team of designers and we sent them off to America and we gave them a budget, what we thought was a set of deliverables, a timetable, and nothing else. Like I said, I just had a phone number that connected me to them. And a group of engineers worked in Germany. And the idea was they would work separately on this problem of what's the successor to the SUV. They would come together, compare notes, then they would work apart, come together, and they would produce together a monumental set of diverse opinions that didn't pollute each other's ideas, but at the same time came together and resolved the problems. Hopefully, really understand the customer at its heart, where the customer is, live with them in America. So, sent the team off, and actually something different happened. They went other places. They disappeared, quite honestly. And all I got was postcards. Now, I got some postcards of these guys in Las Vegas, and I got some postcards of these guys in the Grand Canyon, and I got these postcards of Niagara Falls, and pretty soon they're in New York, and I don't know where else. And I'm telling myself, this is going to be a great car. They're doing research that I've never even thought about before, right? And they decided that instead of like having a studio and 6 or 7 apartments, it was cheaper to rent Elizabeth Taylor's ex-house in Malibu. And at least they told me it was her house. I guess it was at one time or something. She had a party there or something. But anyway, this was the house, and they all lived there. Now, this is 24/7 living, half a dozen people who'd left some have left their wives behind and families behind. And they literally lived in this house for the entire 6 months the project was in America, but the first 3 months were the most intensive. And in front, one of the young women in the project, she was a fantastic lady, she actually built her room in the bathroom. The bathroom was so big, she built the bed over the bathtub. It's quite fascinating. On the other hand, I didn't know anything about this, okay? Nothing. This is all going on, and all I'm getting is postcards of these guys in Las Vegas or whatever saying, don't worry, Chris, this is really going to be good. Okay, so my concept of what a design studio was probably, I wasn't up to speed on where these guys were. However, the engineers back in Munich had taken on this kind of Newtonian solution, and they were, trying to find how many cup holders can dance on the head of a pin, and these really serious questions that are confronting the modern consumer. And one was hoping that these two teams would get together, and this collusion of incredible creativity under these incredible surroundings and these incredibly stressed out engineers would create some incredible solutions. Well, what I didn't know was,
各位大概都听到他解释他组成这个 team 的方法。为了开发一部前所未有的车子，他们组了2组人，一组是在美国，一组在德国。德国负责工程，美国负责去发现什么是未来的这个新的 SUV。那有没有人要猜说结果后来是怎样？猜看。有没有做出来？先说。
应该是没有吧。
应该没有，为什么没有？
不知道，就是我觉得好像从影片来看，我好像没有看到，就是很明显的，就是它有什么具体的 idea 出现。
OK， 你觉得有没有？好像没有声音，那个把它调大一点。
你说就是现在有在卖他们的车之类的
啊？
你是说现在有他们的车有拿出来？
不是，我是说，结果他们这个过程后来怎么样？你猜猜看。他不是要给他们前面3个月要跟他做简报吗？那他们去玩的人玩了3个月，工程师在德国做了3个月， 然后最后集合起来以后，你觉得他们结果是什么？提出来什么？
我觉得，
哎，先说他们有没有教东西？
你是说设计就是在美国那边的吗？
不，他们现在要把2个 team 合在一起，叫他们把各自研究整合出来一个新的概念。怎么样？
应该弄不出来吧？
弄不出来，你的判断是为什么他弄不出来？
我觉得在美国那些人会就是一直丢一些很
莫名其妙的。
对，就是很奇怪的点子出去啊，然后工程师就一直想怎么去解决那些问题，然后到最后到头来都一场空，就是什么都没有这样。
哦，你呢？
我觉得应该是他所设计的东西，可能没办法在现实层面这样的技术面上面去克服。因为像有些设计，它其实它的 idea 很不错，然后可是它在现实中是很难去达成那样的一个模型出来。
你觉得呢？
就是2个可不可以合在一起吗？
对，他们是一定要合在一起，合在一起以后结果怎么样？
我觉得那一台车应该就是非常可以融入消费者的生活吧，因为就是虽然美国那一组就是看起来好像去玩什么尼加拉瓜或者是就是去拉斯维加斯之类，可是我会觉得就是那一种调查感觉给我呈现是，他们好像是循着就是一般就是他们的客户的生活下去走的，因为你会开着车到处玩，或者是你就是住在那边。就是我觉得他们可能想要，就是跟以前不一样。他们说不定就是在路途他们做设备的时候，他们可能是开着车子发现说，就是因为你开车或者是你走路的视野其实会不一样，然后你的空间使用其实也都不一样。我觉得可能他们是想要从比较软性面的东西为这部车注入点什么吧。
好。
我是觉得他们可能到最后不会真正创造出一台车吧。
什么道理？
可能是别的东西，因为他们是2方面看的东西都不太同，就是那我不太晓得他们到时候那个 SUV 所希望的是什么样子。
所以他们会做出来一个旅馆。
不知道，就感觉蛮好玩的。
我觉得可能到时候在美国人可能会提出一个很好的 idea， 但是可能在德国那边可能反而没有那种技术去帮助他，有可能。
好。
就我觉得就是他们到时候把2边的想法整合起来，应该就是会有一个很好的一个概念的一个车子之类的。
会有新车出来。
对，但是能不能在现在有一个就是可以直接反映给消费者的车子，我觉得还不一定这样。2个结合之后，可能形成是原本设计者就是不同于设计者的东西。
好，你觉得他们会合作很好，所以出现一个新的东西？
对。
应该是，就是说，在美国那一组发现的那些东西，可能没有办法被在德国那方面的实现，然后会反而做出一个比较，就是跟他们原本想象完全不一样的东西出来，会是这样子。
我认为，在美国那一群应该会发现一些就是比较特别的，在德国的那些人比较没有注意到的一件事情，像。在德国的那些人，他们是在看一些什么杯子尺度啊，可以放多少，要怎么，这一些比较实际上的问题。可是美国他们那一组感觉上是比较在采取一个比较大架构的一些创意一些的那个 个事情，然后就是结果两个人在讨论的事情不太一样，然后到最后也不知道到底该怎么去把它串起来。
我觉得 SUV 在美国那种生活方式，以德国的那个汽车工艺应该都有办法克服。
所以你觉得他们合作良好？
应该冲撞出来的东西才有。
好，来，你认为他们是怎么样？
我认为就是他们两组都会发现另外一组看不到的观点，然后他们最后会在沟通的情况下，就是创造新的解答。
好，有不一样的吗？
他们会做出就是更好的东西，因为两个想法冲撞之后，就有新的东西。
不会打架？
应该会。
我觉得会啊，更多的创新吧。
会有更多的创新。你们都好乐观啊。
在美国那个团队应该是以人性为出发点，那在德国这组了，他们应该是以机能性为考虑为先，所以我觉得他们可能会有冲突，但应该是可以找到一个很好的方式来把它解决处理掉。
好。
不好意思，我刚刚没有听到问题，但是我想跟
我的意思就是说，这两组人会怎么样？会有什么结果？
我想德国人应该是比较会注重在就是汽车的科技，他们在想怎么样可以就是达到就是比较注重在汽车的，就是不管是燃料或者是操作起来稳定度各种技术，但美国人可能就是会想怎么样可以大量生产，比较快速。
好。
我觉得应该会有很好的结果吧。就是美国他们的那个设计师是，就是他本身设计者是使用者，然后他会设想到他使用到的那个时候的心情，然后还有他的形体。然后德国这个技术人员可能就是偏重在那个性能上面跟它的机械，就是两者外形是由设计师，然后它是搭载在所有的工程技术都可以完成的状态下面完成。我觉得是这样。
OK。
你觉得好像是感性跟理性之间取得平衡的一个地方吧，对吧？看那个科伊 Bangle 他的抉择嘛，他是理性比较多，就比较多成本，他感性比较多的成本，可能他的抉择。
好。
我觉得还是会多少互相妥协。
妥协。
因为可能在它的设计师下，算功能还是，可能它这样的设计是要没办法达到它工程方面最棒的那一个功能，但还是会就是尽量配合它的设计，然后就是多少两边都会妥协。
来，你们两位。
就我觉得最后可能就是因为。就两个理念差很多，然后可能就是他们最后就是设计两款车子，然后德国那组的车就在德国发行，那美国的就在美国发行。
哦，
对。
你呢？不知道没有关系，你用感觉的。你觉得这种组合他们会发生什么事？
是会互相结合。
互相结合。
然后。
好。
就是做出更好的东西。好，我发现大家对 BMW 都很有信心的样子。我们还有2位，对不对？来。
我说他们的结果。
对。
我觉得他们最后应该会成功。
会成功，道理在哪里？
因为他们出去外面玩嘛，然后就他们感情会比较好，然后就他们也比较能够基于这样沟通，所以他们就比较不会有那种就是比较可以接纳别人的意见啊，然后所以他们最后应该可以做得出来。
OK。
我觉得那个 就美国的团队，因为这个车是在美国的 product， 然后可能，但是它就是机械里面注入德国的他们的就是比较他们的工艺，就是他们的技术性在里面，然后结合上美国人的需求跟文化，然后就是美国团队透露出他们的想法跟美国可能他们的文化给德国人，然后德国人帮他们做更突破于原本 BMW 的基础上。
好，我们来看一下，我希望大家很仔细看这个结果。他做这种安排，到最后的结果都不是刚刚大家想的那样，所以你仔细看一下。
And what we found out was these guys, they can't even like talk to each other under those conditions. You get a divergence of Newtonian quantum thinking at that point. You have a split in your dialogue that is so deep and is so far that they cannot bring this together at all. And so we had our first meeting after 3 months in Tiburon, which is just up the road from here. You guys know Tiburon? And the idea was, after the first 3 months of this independent research, they would present it all to Dr. Gershel, who is now my boss. At that time, he was my co-mentor on the project. And they would present their results. We would see where we were going. We would see the first indication of what could be the successive phenomenon to the SUV in America. And so I had these ideas in my head that this is going to be great. I mean, I'm going to see so much work. It's so intense. I know probably Las Vegas meant a lot about it, and I'm not really sure where the Grand Canyon came in either, but somehow all this is going to come together, and I'm going to see some really great product. So we went to Tiburon after 3 months, and the team had gotten together the week before, many days ahead of time. The engineers flew over, and the designers got together with them. And they put their presentation together. Well, it turns out that the engineers hadn't done anything. And they hadn't done anything because, kind of like in car business, engineers are there to solve problems. And we were asking them to create a problem. And the engineers were waiting for the designers to say, this is the problem that we've created, now help us solve it. And they couldn't talk about it. So what happened was, the engineers showed up with nothing. And the engineers told the designers, if you go in with all your stuff, we'll walk out. We'll walk right out of the project. So I didn't know any of this, and we got a presentation that had an agenda that looked like this. There was a whole lot of dialogue. We spent 4 hours being told all about vocabulary that needs to be built between engineers and designers. And here I'm expecting at any moment, okay, they're going to turn the page, and I'm going to see the cars, I'm going to see the sketches, I'm going to see maybe some idea of where it's going. Dialogue kept on going with mental maps of words. And pretty soon it was becoming obvious that instead of being dazzled with brilliance, I was seriously being baffled with bullshit. And if you can imagine what this is like to have these months of postcard indication of how great this team is working, and they're out there spending all this money, and they're learning, and they're doing all this stuff, I went fucking ballistic, right? I went nuts. You can probably remember Tiburon used to look like this. After 4 hours of this, I stood up and I took this team apart. I screamed at them. I yelled at them. What the hell are you doing? You're letting me down. You're my designers. You're supposed to be the creative ones. What the hell is going on around here? It was probably one of my better tirades. I have some good ones, but this was probably one of my better ones. And I went into these people. How could they take BMW's money? How could they have a holiday for 3 months and produce nothing? Nothing. Because, of course, they didn't tell us that they had 3 station wagons full of drawings, model concepts, the pictures, everything I wanted, they'd locked up in the cars.
他们拿了一大堆废话来糊弄，但是他这里说了，其实设计的那个 team 呢，其实已经设计了3个模型，3个汽车的模型，做了模型，画了图，做了一大堆事情，可是他们就是不肯拿出来。 不肯拿出来是什么道理？你可能想说，那一定是工程师没有拿东西，所以他们也不拿出来，或者是前面讲工程师讲说，如果你们把那些作品拿进去，我们就离开了啊。所以什么道理？我们继续往下看。
Because they had shown solidarity with the engineers, and they decided not to show me anything in order to give the chance for problem solving a chance to start, because they hadn't realized, of course, that they couldn't do problem creating. So we went to lunch, and and I got to tell you, this was one seriously quiet lunch. The engineers all sat on one end of the table, the designers and I sat at the other end of the table, really quiet. And I was just fucking furious, okay? Probably because they had all the fun and I didn't, you know? That's what you have furious about, right? And somebody asked me about Catherine, my wife, you know, did she fly out with me or something? I said no. And it triggered a set of thoughts about my wife. And I recalled that when Catherine and I were married, the priest gave a very nice sermon.
这句是一个重要的话，虽然他是牧师在跟两个结婚的人说的，但是当我们在谈到一个设计的 team 的时候，这句话，因为有人问了他太太来了没有，他想到了他太太的时候，突然想到这句话，他突然想到他在管理这个设计的 team 的时候，好像这个方法是不对的，所以请各位仔细看。
And he said something very important. He said, love is not selfish. He said, love does not mean counting how many times I say I love you. It doesn't mean you had sex this many times this month and it's 2 times less than last month, so that means you don't love me as much. Love is not selfish. And I thought about this, and I thought, you know, I'm not showing love here. I'm seriously not showing love. I'm in the air without trust. This cannot be. This cannot be that I'm expecting a certain number of sketches, and to me, that's my quantification method for qualifying a team. This cannot be. So I told him this story. I said, guys, I'm thinking about something here. This isn't right. I can't have a relationship with you guys based on a premise that is a quantifiable one, based on a dictate premise that says, I'm a boss, you do what I say, without trust. I said, this can't be. And we talked about the table. Actually, we all broke down into tears, to be quite honest about it, because they still could not tell me how much frustration they had built up inside of them, not being able to show me what I wanted, and merely having to ask me to trust them that it would come. And I think we felt much closer that day. We cut a lot of strings that didn't need to be there, and we forged the concept for what real team and creativity is all about. We put the car back at the center of our thoughts, and we put love, I think, truly back into the center of the process.
他把爱放进去整个设计的过程中间，这个是很重要的。所以因为这样子，所以他才能够开始产出来现在你可以看到的许多的新的形式。
That team went on to create 6 different concepts for the next model of what would be the proposal for the next generation after SUVs in America. One of those was the idea of a crossover coupes. You see it downstairs. The X Coupe. I had a lot of fun with that. It was the rendition of our motorcycle, the GS, as like Carl Magnusson says, brutiful, as the idea of what could be a motorcycle if you had 2 more wheels. And so, in conclusion, my lesson that I wanted to pass on to you was this one here. I also going to steal a little quote out of Little Prince. There's a lot to be said about trust and love.
这句话，他说，生命会教我们，爱不是一直瞪着对方看，而是一起看向同一个方向。那个是很重要的概念，因为只有透过这个方法，你才能够跟别人不同。为什么叫做跟别人不同？因为我们要做差异化的时候的最重要，不是要把那个样子做成跟别人不一样， 最重要是整个工作的流程只要是不一样，它的结果一定不一样，因为每一个人产出的东西都是来自于看向同一个方向。当我们看向同一个方向的时候，那个是关切对方，也就是爱对方，同时信任对方。我跟各位讲一个我自己的经验。我在高中的时候打橄榄球，打橄榄球一个很重要的东西就是球一定要向后传，球不是像足球一样看着对面说哦人在那里，我把球这样咚一下传过去。橄榄球是球一定要向后传，可是你在向前跑，所有的对方的队都要来抓你，把你弄倒，所以你要注意的对方的队要闪他们的时候，手上抱着球，球要向后传的时候，这中间只有一个事情，就是信任。你传出去的位置一定有一个人站在那里，那这个就是 trust， 那个就是 teamwork。我在高中的时候学到的 teamwork 就是说，我看到有一个人拿球，我一定要去站到他想要传球的这一边或这一边，一定要有人，让他不管到最危急的时候要把球传出去的时候，他根本连看都不必看，他啪一下子他就知道那边一定有人去接触这个球，那个就是 trust。我们在做 design team 的时候，整个 team 今天他的这个 project 就是要告诉我们，我们要学会这个事。可是到目前为止，我相信我们在学的东西都是个人怎么样把设计做好。我们很少去学一个东西，就是说一个团队怎么样看向同一个方向，然后打一场漂亮的球，这个没有人教的。所以我们透过今天这个来告诉大家，是这个如果我们要这个做差异化。爱跟信任是非常重要，那这个是 teamwork 的核心。
If you know that those two words are synonymous for design, I had a very, very meaningful relationship with my team that day, and it's stayed that way ever since. And I hope that you too find that there's more to design and more towards the art of the design than doing it yourself. It's truly the trust and the love that makes it worthwhile. Thanks so much.
我们继续讲一段。刚刚这位 Chris Bangle， 爱与信任等于差异化。我们利用他的这一场演讲来告诉大家，如果我们要真正把我们的设计做出来，让整个策略是跟别人不同的时候，这中间有一个就是你有没有办法在你的 team 里面建立了爱跟信任，因为如果没有这个差异化是做不出来的啊。所以等一下我们可以基于这个东西来做一个讨论。我们先看下面一段。